Since the Porsche Cayenne turned the automotive world upside down in the early noughties, it's gone on to evolve and become one of the brand's biggest sellers globally. One size up from the mid-size Macan, it's problematic for hardcore Porschephiles, but there's no doubting this 5-seat SUV's success, or the fact that it helps keep the famous German sports car maker well and truly in the black. And this is the new third generation version, sitting on an all-new chassis with fresh engines and a bunch of new dynamic, safety and tech enhancements.
There are 3 models offered initially, starting with the Cayenne, powered by a 3-litre single turbo petrol V6 for just over $115,000 before on-road costs. Then the 2.9-litre V6 Cayenne S adds a second turbo and around $40,000 to the price tag. The Powerhouse Turbo tops the lineup with a 4-litre twin-turbo petrol V8 under the bonnet, and cost of entry sitting around $240,000. Not a diesel in sight for the time being, with an e-hybrid variant due here closer to the end of this year. All models now feature an 8-speed shift-by-wire auto transmission, with drive going to all 4 wheels courtesy of Porsche's active traction management system.
The design's new, but familiar. The car's longer, it's wider, lower overall, lower to the ground, but the wheelbase is unchanged. All models feature LED headlights, from active through to LED matrix. This new nose treatment features a broad grille. This is the Cayenne S, but the turbo features a different nose treatment with larger cooling vents. Car spotters will notice a narrower glass area and a more accentuated taper at the back of the roofline. Porsche calls it the fly line. And you'll also notice the C-pillar has been angled forward for a racier look.
A full-width horizontal light strip across the tail sits under a clear covering above a 3-dimensional version of the Porsche logo. And wheels now range in size from 19-inch on the Cayenne to 20-inch on the Cayenne S and 21s on the Turbo, plus optional 22s, presumably for those who drive on billiard table smooth freeways at all times. And the Cayenne now features staggered or mixed tyres for the first time. That is, fatter rubber on the back than the front. Inside, the biggest change is the adoption of the Panamera's advanced cockpit, with the central tachometer in the iconic 5-gauge instrument cluster, flanked by twin 7-inch screens to create a blended analog-digital version of the classic Porsche 5-dial layout. And there's a super sleek 12.3-inch screen here in the centre, running everything from vehicle settings through nav to your media, phone, and it's all done through voice or touch. Again, it's a direct lift from the Panamera, and the screen layout can be customised to personal preference. And Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are available via a Porsche Connect app.
There's extra storage space around the cabin, and this back seat is new. With the tweak of a lever at the side and the pull of a handle under the cushion, you can actually slide it forward and pull the backrest up. Now, this is an extreme position, but if you do that on the other side, you can liberate an extra 100 litres of cargo space while maintaining seating for 5. But you don't have to go all the way like this. There are steps that you can go back, release the backrest, and there's plenty of leg and headroom back here. The new Cayenne sits on the VW Group's MLB Evo platform, which also underpins the Bentley Bentayga, the Audi Q7, the Lamborghini Urus, and the soon-to-arrive new generation Volkswagen Touareg.
It uses a lot of aluminium and lightweight high-strength steel, which in concert with the alloy body panels makes the car not only stiffer, but lighter by up to 65 kg.
We've driven each model Cayenne over a 2-day launch in South Australia's Barossa Valley, and I can confirm that even the base car is quick. The Cayenne S is probably fast, and the Cayenne Turbo is just ballistic. The engines are lifted straight from the Panamera, and not only are they more powerful, Porsche claims they're more fuel efficient and says emissions are lower.
The transmission is a conventional 8-speed auto rather than Porsche's PDK dual clutch, and shifts are quick but smooth in normal mode, transitioning to a sharper, even more precise response in Sport or Sport Plus.
Porsche stands on its reputation as one of the world's great sports car makers and says the Cayenne fits easily into that context. But let's face it, this is a 2-ton SUV, and while it's dynamically outstanding, it's no 911.
All models feature active dampers with varying levels of suspension sophistication as you walk up the range, to 3-chamber air suspension on the turbo.
On twisting V roads, the Cayenne's fast. In fact, in the case of the turbo, bloody fast. It grips hard and thanks to active drive distribution, puts its power down beautifully. But no matter how sophisticated the suspension tech, it still feels large and relatively top-heavy. The electromechanical steering is light and points accurately. But no matter which mode you're in, road feel is modest.
Not surprisingly, the ride firms up in tune with sportier drive modes, but in comfort, even the turbo on 21-inch rims soaked up the irregularities of at times choppy rural roads with surprising ease.
Given this car's mass and performance potential, braking is an understandable priority. And even the base car has big ventilated rotors front and rear, with 4-piston calipers at the front and 2-piston at the back.
The S ups that to 6-piston front and 4 at the rear, while the turbo debuts Porsche's surface-coated brake, a tungsten carbide coating on the discs, and special pads for longer life and less dust. Of course, the front calipers are 10-piston, with 4 at the rear. We also headed off-road through rutted dirt and rocky climbs, and with 5 drive and chassis modes at its disposal, the Cayenne ate it up. The different modes will lock and unlock the centre and rear diff as required, and the adjustable hill descent control made crawling down steep slopes a breeze.
The Cayenne may be the Porsche of SUVs, but you can't have family car size and practicality without a few concessions. It's fast, beautifully made, and engineered with a special eye for detail. But it's worth remembering the SUV bit. This Porsche is made more for everyday enjoyment than track day excitement. Tschüss! If you want to know more, read the full review at carsguide.com.au. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit subscribe.